Hi YouTube, it's Maria Guild, and I wanted to just hop on here really quickly because I wanted to talk a little bit. We are in the process of getting a pool put in, and there comes a point when you're doing your pool where you have to start making a lot of decisions. There's things that you have to choose, like your cool decking, your tile, your waterline tile, and your Pebble tech. So I've been on YouTube a lot because these seem like really big and hard and difficult decisions because you're spending a lot of money and obviously you want to make the right decision. So I wanted to make this video just to help people if they're choosing or if they're thinking about things. And hopefully this video will be a little bit helpful. I'm in the process of making those decisions. I haven't made a final decision, but I just kind of want to walk you through the process of why I'm making certain decisions and why I'm not. Obviously, this is my personal opinion. Everybody has a different opinion. So I'm just going to share some of my thoughts, but you know, it's not like just take it or leave it. Anyways, so the first thing I want to show you so the pool company came and just dropped all these samples off for me. So it is a little bit overwhelming, and I'll show you, for example, some of the samples. So here we have the cool decking. And so for me, when I saw this, personally, my opinion, I don't really like a lot of the kind of yellowy, peachy colors. I feel like I see that in a lot of different pools, and I know they say sometimes these colors, the more yellowy or peachy they are, the more the blue pops. But I just feel like I've seen it too much, and I'm not a fan of that. So since these are the only ones they gave me to pick from, I ended up kind of wanting to go a little bit more in this color, which is the button gray cool decking. And when you pull these out, the first thing you should do is put this out in the sunlight, because you're gonna get a much more realistic idea of how this plays out. It's a lot darker in here, but when it's in the sun, it definitely gets a lot brighter. So I decided to go with this one because it has a lot less of the yellowy, peachy colors. But yes, this is what your cool decking samples will look like. Okay, then the next thing you have to choose is your Pebble tech. Now this is from a brand called Stonescape, and it's the mini pebbles. So from what I heard is the mini pebbles are a little bit smoother than regular Pebble tech. So just keep that in mind. Now they brought me 2 boxes, and they said, this box is in your budget, and this box is gonna be $1,000 over budget. So I decided I wasn't gonna look at that one because we are trying to stay in budget. That's another important tip. Because there's often little upsells, and if you really wanna stick to a budget, then just stick to a budget. So from these samples that are within our budget, I'm just gonna show you what it looks like. So there's lots of different kind of colors, and they have these little pebbles, but then in the back you can kind of see the color it is. And don't be afraid to put these in the water too. So when I was looking at these, the one that really pulled my eye initially was this one, because it was a nice blue, and it didn't have too much of the browns and, you know, like orange yellowy colors. The only problem I was having with this one is I feel like it's gonna make the water pretty light. I mean, not as light as the whites, I don't think. So the pool guy actually told me, so he told me that this color, they're both exactly the same color in the back, but this one has a little bit more of the darker stone, so it kind of makes it a little bit of a deeper color. So I think I might go with this one, and this is called Aqua Blue. And you actually can look up, there are a few videos of people with pools done with this Aqua Blue Pebble tech. Now the other one that I thought was cute too was, I like this one. This is the same one with a little bit of a darker pebble. This one's a little bit darker, you can see. And this is called Tropics Blue, and it has some of the pretty shiny shells. Now I think you can put shells in any of the other colors, so I don't think that's a big deal. So this is just kind of my process. I'm leaning to probably this one or this one, depending on my waterline tile, which is next. So then I got a big box of tile samples to look through. So So again, I mean, like there's a lot of these type of tiles. They've got like browns with the blue. It's pretty, but I'm not so into the browns for some reason. I'm just, you know, I don't really like the orange. This one's very red. For me, I've always been more into matching my color tones. For example, you know, if I want the cool color tones like the grays and the blues, I'm not gonna throw a warm color tone in there because I feel like it clashes a little bit. So these, I looked through all the tiles and these are kind of more where I'm heading. Oh, I wanted to show you this. For example, this, it's a really pretty gray tile, but I looked up this name. You can look it up, mptpool.com, and then you look up the color. And I saw a picture of this tile like all together with a bunch of other tiles, and you see this tiny little discoloration here, this little sandy yellow color. So when I saw all the tiles put together, this tiny little discoloration made a very obvious yellowy feel in this gray tile. And that's, I didn't really want that personally. That wasn't something I was going for. So that's another little tip to remember is if you see any little discoloration, just remember that it might look a lot more intense when you put all the tile together. Here's another example. This is a pretty stone for sure, but it has, you know, this is a nice gray and blacks, and they seem very true in their color, but this has a lot of brown. And when you put them all together, the brown really starts to stand out. The other thing about this tile, that while it's really pretty that I didn't like, is that it has just this corner to corner slanting, which I feel like each tile, like there's no way to really connect that. For example, this seems to have more of a line going this way. So you could probably connect it and it would make a good kind of image. Whereas these, it just shoots off out the top. So I feel like each tile wouldn't blend or flow into the other one. That's just a little personal preference. Now of the grays, I feel like this was a really pretty true gray, and it didn't have any other weird colors in it that were off from that tone. So I think this is one color that I was interested in, and I'm gonna tell you the tile name. It's Yosemite Gray from the Waterfall line with mptpool.com. So I thought that the dark, with this gray slate, and another reason why I was thinking of the gray is because the pool often gets the hard water lines, and the lighter your tile is, or the more white it is or gray, the easier it is to hide that color. For example, this is a really pretty blue tile, which, you know, is gorgeous, but because it's so dark blue and shiny, you're gonna see those white water lines really intensely. Now this one isn't even that bad because it has some of the white in it. So this was definitely something that I thought about doing too. But at the end of the day, I feel like I wanna go a little bit lighter just so the white lines aren't so visible and harsh. So I ended up going with my final two choices was this pretty light blue. So I kind of like the idea of having a nice blue. This is kind of what caught my eye at first. It has some of the lighter tones in it. So I feel like if they laid the tile this way, then it would kind of hide some of the water stains. So this one is the Blue Seas Sea Light Light Blue. So this is my #1 runner-up after looking through everything. And I was going to pair that with the Aqua Blue, which is a little bit lighter, and then with the Button Gray. So I feel like that's gonna be really pretty. So it's the Button Gray, the Aqua Blue, and the Light Blue. And then the other option would be to do the Button Gray and maybe the Yosemite Gray tile with the deeper, darker blue. So that's my process. That's kind of what I'm choosing. I just wanted to show you a little bit about what it'll look like for you and what things that you'll be looking at, decisions you have to make. It is a lot of fun, but it is kind of that pressure thing where you're like, I want to get it just right. And of course, the worst thing, you know, to be would if you pick it all and then at the end of it, you're not really happy with it. So just try and really think about what you're doing. Try and have the things match. Try and have it flow. And then also another tip is they say, whatever draws your eye first, a lot of times that's the right decision. So I hope this was helpful if anybody's choosing their stuff. I know it's kind of a stressful decision, but I hope this was helpful. And I will show you the finished product at the very end. All right, that was it. Bye.